Hello everyone, my name is Keely. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back if you've been here before. Today we're going to talk about the best books I have ever read according to Goodreads. So we're going to go through my average rating on Goodreads shelves on my red shelf, and I'm going to talk about the top 10 highest rated books on Goodreads that I have read, obviously, to see if I agree with them and what I thought, and we can see if they are as good as everyone else thinks they are. Alright, so I have Goodreads pulled up on my phone. I'm going to be putting screenshots in right here, and we are going to go from number 10 to number 1. Number 1 being the highest rated book that I have read according to Goodreads. Now, a little stipulation, I am only going to be talking about one book per series because in my top 10, most of it is like one whole series because there's some manga in there, but we're only going to be talking about the highest rated of that series. So let's go ahead and get started with number 10. We have I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jennette McCurdy. Now this is a newer book and you've probably heard of it because this is one of the absolute most popular books on BookTube within the last year. This is Jennette McCurdy's memoir that she wrote about the abuse that her mother put her through growing up and how she had to come to terms with that and realize what it was. So I grew up with Jennette McCurdy. I have always loved her TV shows, her music, everything. And so I was a little bit familiar with stuff, but obviously this memoir goes deep into everything she struggled with and went through. People love, and rave about this book, and I also really enjoyed my experience reading it and Jennette's writing. However, I did not rate this, but this comes in at 4.52 on Goodreads, which I do agree with even though I didn't rate it, but it is a great memoir. Next is number 9, coming in at 4.54 stars. That is The Last Olympian by Rick Riordan. This is book 5 in the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series, and I highly agree with this rating because I gave it 5 stars. I absolutely love Percy Jackson. If you don't know, it is a Greek mythology series where we follow 11-year-old Percy as he is discovering that he is a demigod. And this is obviously the 5th book in the series, so by the time you get to this book, you're probably going to rate it highly because you have loved the series enough to read 5 books in it. But Percy and Annabeth and Grover are some of my favorite characters I've ever read, so yes, I definitely agree with this rating. Coming in at number 8 with 4.55 stars on Goodreads is All My Rage by Saba Tahir. Now, this is a coming-of-age story about 2 Pakistani-American teenagers and all of the struggles and tribulations they go through, as well as a love story interspersed throughout the story. So I understand why this book has such a high rating. Most people that read it really love it, and I'm glad that it exists because it is such an important story, and I know a lot of people could see themselves through the story that obviously don't get represented a lot. So it's a very important read, but I didn't have a good time reading this because this is not a happy story. It's very tragic and hard to read, and I rate based off of enjoyment, so I rated this one 3 stars. The writing is beautiful, and like I said, the story is so important, so I still recommend it, but it's just not my favorite. Coming in at number 7 with 4.56 stars on Goodreads is The House of Hades by Rick Riordan once again. But this is a different series. This is book 4 in the Heroes of Olympus series, which is also a Greek mythology series, but it includes some other characters as well as Percy and his friends, and I definitely agree. I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. This is probably my favorite book in the Heroes of Olympus series because of the location and setting that this book takes place in. It's so much fun. I love this, and I really do need to reread it because it's been a while. Number 6 has a 4.56 star rating on Goodreads, and that is Clockwork Princess by Cassandra Clare. This is book 3 in the Infernal Devices series, and I definitely agree. I gave this one 5 out of 5 stars. It deserves every star out there. This is a Shadowhunter book if you're not familiar. This is a part of the second series she wrote. We have The Mortal Instruments, and then this is the other one, The Infernal Devices, which takes place in 1800s London. These characters are my entire heart and soul. Will, Tessa, and Jim are absolutely everything. I highly recommend this series as a whole, this book specifically, and all the Shadowhunter books in general. But yes, this is one of my favorite Shadowhunter books, so I definitely agree with the high rating. Coming in at number 5 on this list, also with a 4.56 average rating, we have Christmas Angel Charity by Morris Fenris. This is book 3 in the 3 Christmas Angel series. This is like a Christmas Hallmark. I believe it's also a Christian fiction book, and I rated this 4 stars, so I do agree with the higher rating. I had a great time. I could now not tell you a single thing about this book, but it was exactly what I wanted in the moment that I was reading it. Coming in at number 4 with an average rating of 4.58 stars is Empire of Storms by Sarah J. Maas. This is book 5 in the Throne of Glass series. And I really do not agree with the high rating because I gave Empire of Storms 1 star. Yes, 1 star. I really hate this book so much. If you haven't heard about my debacle with the Throne of Glass series, I love Throne of Glass, I love The Assassin's Blade, and I love Crown of Midnight. And then Heir of Fire starts going downhill, and each book has slowly gotten worse and worse and worse. Until we get to Tower of Dawn, where the only character worth mentioning, Chaol, that's his book, and so I enjoy that book. But Empire of Storms, worst book in the series so far. I've got 1 more to go and I'm really scared. I thought this book was so incredibly boring. I hate Aelin with every fiber in my being. Everybody follows her around like she is God's gift to Earth, and she acts like she is for no reason. I could just rant and rant all about it. Obviously, I don't agree with this high average rating because I gave it 1 star. Coming in at number 3 with an average rating of 4.6 stars is Fullmetal Alchemist Volume 10. Obviously, this is the 10th volume in the series. This is a manga series all about alchemy, where we follow 2 brothers who something tragic has happened in their past. Some alchemy has gone wrong with them, so they are like missing body parts. Some of them are missing whole bodies, things like that. I love this manga series so much. It's probably my favorite. I love anything about alchemy, and these 2 brothers are so great. So I definitely agree with this rating because I gave this volume 5 stars. I'm pretty sure I gave every Fullmetal Alchemist volume that I've read 5 stars so far, so I definitely agree, and it is a highly rated manga series that I definitely recommend. Coming in at number 2, we have Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows with a 4.62 average rating. This is obviously book 7 in the Harry Potter series. I don't need to say much about it, but I agree with this high rating because I gave it 5 stars. It is probably my favorite book in the series. It changes every so often, but Deathly Hallows is one of my favorites. And coming in at my highest rated book that I have ever read, according to Goodreads, at 4.64 stars, is Heartstopper Volume 4 by Alice Oseman. Obviously, this is the 4th volume. This is the latest one that has been out, and I do agree. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, not quite 5 stars, but it is my favorite volume in the Heartstopper series, so I definitely understand the high rating because I love this one. It is the darkest one, but I also really like dark topics and discussions, so I definitely agree with this. So those are the top 10 highest rated books that I have ever read according to Goodreads. There are a few, like 1 or 2 that I don't necessarily agree with, especially Empire of Storms, but for the most part I definitely agree with the high ratings. Let me know the highest book you've ever read and whether I should read it or not. But that is it for this video. If you've made it this far, go ahead and leave the purple heart emoji for Heartstopper Volume 4. But that is it. All my social media links will be down below, and I'll see you next time. Bye!